What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. We are in the office from a different perspective. I've actually got you up on the pegboard today. That's because we're doing a little crafting today, if you will. I've got a problem, a terminal problem. That sounds bad. It's a terminal tackle problem. And what we need to do is we need to stop taking so much gosh dang terminal to the lake. So we're going to solve this problem today by condensing these two terminal boxes into one. Why would I have two terminal boxes? Well, one has been dedicated to finesse terminal options. So we've got Ned rigs, drop shots, micro jigs, all that sort of stuff in there. And then we've got the heavy duty stuff, as I like to think of it. So we've got swim jigs, Tokyo rigs, stuff for tubes, EWGs, offset worm hooks, blah, blah, blah. It's too much. I know that. We're bringing way too much to the lake. So my goal today was, how could we make the ideal kind of universal terminal box? In my opinion, there's a whole bunch of terminal boxes out there that exist. None of them are perfect. Even these right here, these Plano edges, which we consider to be the best option of the bunch, are definitely not perfect. Part of the problem that we run into with these is their dang latch system, unfortunately. I will often have these loaded up. It happens more aggressively on the 3700 size when they're loaded, but I'll have these just like bump into each other, pop open. And when that happens with something terminal, you've got a million hooks and weights that just go flying out into your kayak. And I want to improve these a bit because while they do come with some nifty little features, like different size individually lidded containers, like their little silicone weight containers, which are super neat. They come in a bunch of different sizes, by the way. You've got like these with a divider in them, these that are a bit smaller. All those things are cool. The challenge you run into is you end up with like a mess of hooks, which by the way, these lids, they don't really, oh God, they don't stay closed. They don't latch or anything. So, you know, they're nice in theory, but they don't keep everything from spilling out if you knock the thing open. The other option that I'm thinking here is that we could take a Busby box and convert this into a terminal box as well. Also a great option. So before we start the project, real quick, wanted to call out there are tons of terminal options out there, some of which are smaller containers, like this one from Mule Fishing, which is also made by a whole bunch of other different brands. So, you know, insert your favorite brand here. Gamakatsu makes one. There's a bunch of JDM boxes that are very similar. We just got one from Euro Tackle. So they all exist. I am not in favor of these most of the time because if I'm out in my kayak, I am taking a 3700 size box. Typically, that's all I want with me. It's just a bunch of this size. I'll say if we're doing like a river trip or I'm wading, that's where I'm actually doing this. But most of the time, we're hitting lakes, so I want just the 3700 size box. Another option that exists out there are binders and hook wallets. And while, again, I think in theory, they're a good idea for some people out there, and maybe that's you and you love it, I say that's awesome. Keep using it. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you not to use it. For me personally, carrying around a hook wallet just doesn't make that much sense. It doesn't fit into my PFD very well. I have had one sitting in my short stack, the Yak Attack Black pack that has the little topper, right? That's like open storage. I've had it in there. That's been okay. Again, it's not my preference. I'd rather just have one terminal box that has all the things that I want to use. So that is our goal today. We're going to take these two terminal boxes. We're going to make them one. And whether we end up using the Plano Edge or the Busby, you'll find out in just a second because we're going to fast forward to when the project's done and I'll tell you what I did. Let's get to it.
3 hours later.
Holy cow, that took a lot longer than I expected it to take. I'm pretty sure I've got about 3 hours into this. That is how much terminal we were dealing with. I did empty out one of the terminal boxes. Check it out. Fully emptied. Gonzo. So I didn't need two, turns out. The whole reason I made this video in the first place was because the BKK OCD box came out. The BKK OCD box is really cool in concept. It's a $300 terminal box. And it has just like little cartridges. It's really similar to what Plano did with these individual containers that they have in here. Just think slimmer, trimmer, and a whole lot more of them, like 48 or something in there. And they're all loaded with hooks, which is cool. And BKK hooks are awesome. That's $300 out the gate to load that thing up. I already have hooks, and I also didn't want to get the BKK box by itself with all the cartridges. I have no idea what that comes out to, maybe like $100. I already had Plano Edge terminals, so that's why we did the whole video in the first place. I'm really happy with this box now because I've got everything freaking labeled in here. So check this out. So if we open this sucker up, here's what you see. So we got our weights up across the top row here, from heavy to heavy, meaning about ½ ounce or above. Mid weights being anything above 1/4 but below 1/2. And then light weights is going to be a bunch of my like basic lead 1/4 ounces, a couple tungsten 1/4 ounces, all the way down to like a 1/16. So we got weights covered. Top row, we've got 5/0. This is a couple of EWGs and a couple of offset worm hooks. We got the 4/0, my most commonly used hooks. So we got EWGs, offset worm hooks in there. Also peg stoppers as well. So I just stuck them in there with that. 3/0 hooks, 2/0 hooks, and then specialty, which is like spinnerbait trailer hooks and then screw lock hooks, weightless. We go down here, we've got our finesse row. This entire row is for finesse. We got finesse drop shot hooks, we got 1/0 hooks, we got Nico hooks, wacky hooks, a hair for some reason. Drop shot weights, that's like with the little pinch weight for your line there. Free rig weights, where it has the circle opening for it. Nico weights of all sorts of shapes and sizes. We got weighted wacky hooks. Then we come down here, we've got our flipping hooks. That's every size. I really don't use flipping hooks that often, so I just stuck a couple of 3, 4, and 5/0 hooks in there. We got our belly weighted hooks that include things like the ZWG that just came out last year. We got underspins in there as well, just the EWG ones that you can screw lock your plastics onto, so that is covered. We've got standard underspins. These are specifically Great Lakes Finesse. And then we've got Ned jigs there. And then down to our bottom row, I had a little space here where we put the water wick pack just to keep moisture out of here. So we got these crazy skirted weights from NACO Outdoors, which is pretty cool. We've got some Great Lakes Finesse skirted ball head jigs there. And then we've got our standard swim jigs and some specialty ones. So we got like Megabass Okashira screw heads. Then we got shaky head weights there. And then I've got, this is kind of core tackle corner. So there's the tush and then the core tackle Ozark rig as well for your creature baits. So pretty cool. I'm happy with how this came out. This is everything I could ever need in a terminal box, all in one. I don't have to reach back into my tackle box and go, which one was it? Next cool thing we made, we took a 3600 size Plano Edge terminal box, and this will be the one that I take to the river. Notice there's a bunch of open space, that's on purpose. So I've got stuff that I would mostly only use in the river or stuff that I don't use that often. So things like Carolina rigs, heavy weights for punching. Then we've got our Ned rigs across the top, from EWG style to open hook with a spinner on it. These are actually really neat. Check this out. I don't even remember where I got these, but these are really cool. So I got a couple of those. These things right here are crucial for the river. These are the Z-Man bullets. These are fantastic for the river because they got that tapered head, so they happen to get through cover a lot more easily and get hung up or get snagged or get lost a lot less on the river. Then we got everything I need for tube fishing, but more importantly, there's a lot of space in here left over for other things that I might want to take on the river. Typically, if I go to the river, I'm taking 1 or 2 boxes, something like this, and what I'll show you next, which is my finesse terminal. I might take something like that with some plastics, and like that's it. And this is going in a waterproof bag that I'm going to throw in my kayak or that I'm going to sling over my shoulder and carry down the river as I wade. Next up, we've got the totally destroyed, because I've been using it a lot, but the mule fishing terminal box. Haven't changed this much. If you open this up, you've got perforated foam on one side here. We've got your ultralight skirted jigs from Pig Jigs. We've got our standard mule jigs up top. Some of them rigged, some of them not. And then we've got some Z-Man shrooms, the micro shrooms right there as well, in case I'm using the Z-Man micro finesse plastics. On the other side, you've got all your jigs. So tons of ultralight jigs, different colors there. It looks like a beautiful rainbow. Then we got the Bronco blades here in all the different colors so that I can vary things up as needed. Nice little compact size, so this can go with me anywhere.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was a little jealous of like Jeff's setup. It's fly. Like with all that, the writing on it, it looks clean, it's organized, and dude, he made a lot out of a little, which is exactly what we were trying to do. So kudos to Jeff, I really like that. again, I'm gonna try something different. My initial thought was like, this was gonna be the best option. I'm a liar. I was wrong, and I'm not mad about saying it at all because I came up with a better option. So instead of using the Colony with all the different boxes, what the problem was is it just felt really inefficient. I wasn't really happy with it. And also, I didn't have enough of these 1 squares in the thin style, because see how that sidewall here is really thin? I didn't have enough of those to actually like make the whole thing single square. So it felt really inefficient. I wasn't loving it, so I called an audible. Switched it up and went with the 28 Basic T. I love this. I'm gonna zoom in on this for you guys so you can see it. I absolutely love this. Why do I like this? I got every single thing. Well, not every single thing. Sans like a couple of things that I don't really use. I got both of these boxes. This one almost completely empty. I'm not a big Nico fisherman, so I didn't include those. I got almost everything that I wanted out of these 2 boxes into here. Every single thing, every hook, every weight that I wanted got in there, and I was able to add extra, which I'll show you in a second. So let's take a look now at this 15T. So you can see I have almost exclusively the 1 boxes. So what I did was I started all the way over here with my Texas rig, bullet weights, big bullet weights, my Carolina rig stuff, and then I added these peg stoppers right here, just on top, because like they're not in the way, and I'm going to use them anyway if I set up a Texas rig a lot of the time. So that just made a lot of sense. Next up, we have the drop shot weights, absolutely critical, and then we have the free rig weights, which sometimes I interchange with the drop shot, and then I've got some miscellaneous here. That's the only time I think I took out one of these dividers, was to have like just some miscellaneous terminals. So these are like customized like drop shot clips, swivels, stuff like that. We have our worm hooks, our Texas hooks, our screw-in swim bait hooks, our flipping hooks. You got 2 or 3 different spots here for different kinds of nets. So we got the EWGs, and then we get the open hooks, which are my favorites. Now, I will say I have all sizes of worm hooks in here, like mixed in. But so I have like 3, 4, and 5 out, like all in the same spot. So that may bother me later, but that could easily be switched. I could move a couple things around and make that space if I really wanted to. I kept all of my shaky worms right here, my shaky worm hooks right here, and then I've got I've got all of my like ultralight swim bait hooks, from mule fishing. I've got them all mixed into here. I've got like 3 or 4 of each kind of size. Again, a risk, but for this amount of efficiency, like I'm okay with it. And then I've got my larger swim bait hooks, so like 1/2 ounce, 1/4 ounce, and then everything smaller on this side. That I was able to add. I didn't actually have those in there initially, so this is actually a really big win. I've got everything bladed. This was another add. I was able to get my sneaky underspins in here, which I use all the time, and then I was able to get my the rest of my Great Lakes Finesse tube jigs, and then their ball head jigs in here, which again was not in my terminal tackle box, but I'm in love with, so a huge add. I've got all my willow bladed stuff, so tailspins and my mule fishing ultra lights. Basically, they're high-end beetle spins. I've got all of those in there with one color. I've got weighted wacky, unweighted wacky, and then all my drop shot hooks. That is this new terminal tackle box. It's pretty slick. So what did I get? These are actually under $40 for one of these boxes. So I'm way under the price of 2 of those at 50 bucks each. All in all, I'm in a very heavy duty box that is organized, clean, neat, and tidy for a little bit less money. So I actually really like the way this one turned out. I'm happy with it. And I do like Jeff's too. I think they're all good options. One common theme with our channel that you're always going to notice is that we try not to yuck anyone else's yum. So if you like to have 2 terminal boxes, you should absolutely go do that. I highly recommend for you that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. If it makes you quick and efficient, that's going to be a dub for you. If you want to save a little money or maybe you only have 1 box, maybe the way Jeff or I have it organized is a great way for you as well. There's no wrong answer if it works for you. So go ahead and do what works. What we're trying to show you is there are other options. So if there's something about your current setup that's bothering you, here's maybe some options for you to go and fix it. Some of the tactics that we used, downsizing, again, giving a little to get a little. So if you combine a couple of things, maybe you combine all of your Texas weight or your Texas hooks like I did, your EWGs like I did, maybe that's going to help you out a little bit. If having no Ned rigs in there and makes no sense for you, get them out of there. If you don't use them, don't bring them. It's going to be okay. You can put those in a smaller box, a different box, a bag, whatever makes you happy. You have some options. Also, you can go the Busby route. You could also split things up a little bit. it. I do highly recommend that you think about maybe getting 2 smaller ones, having one for finesse, one for Texas, whether it's the 2 smaller Busbys, the 15 or the 8Ts or the Planos. I don't care. It means nothing to me. If it works for you again, I'm not yucking your yum. Go for it. But we want to show you some options. This I think is a great option too. So at the end of the day, Jeff and I were both able to save a bunch of space in our boats, condense down, get a little more organized, get a little more quick and efficient, slim and trim as we like to say, which makes us both feel really good about where we're headed into terminal for next season and getting one less box inside of our boats. I like that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you took away something that helped you out. If you guys got some tips or tricks from us that we missed in this video, how do you organize your terminal? What has made you successful in the past? Leave us a comment down below. We'd really appreciate it. We do read all those comments. We try and let you guys know that what we're seeing when we respond in those responses. So please leave us a comment. Let us know what we should have thought of when we did this video. And hey, maybe heck, we'll make another one. Who knows? If you haven't already, take a second, give us a thumbs up on this video, hit that notification bell so you can see when we post the next one. And if you're interested, we go live on YouTube with our live stream podcast Wednesdays, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. We get people from all over the internet who are into fishing. We try and get them on, get their perspectives, and have a whole heck ton of fun. Go ahead and check that out as well. And as always, we'll see you in the next video. Ka-chow!